Now to a live picture from the Virginia Beach ocean front. We're getting a new look at a surf park coming to that area. The city just released the results of several studies about how that park would affect Virginia Beach. 13 News Now anchor Ashley Smith joins us with a look at what they found. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Dan. The Dome Site Revitalization Project is called the WAVE Project. It would run between 18th and 20th Streets at the oceanfront. So we're going to show you now what it's going to look like. Take a look at your screens here. The project turns the former Dome site into a multi-use entertainment epicenter. So portions of the property will become an indoor and outdoor event center, as well as a surf park. So singer, songwriter, producer Pharrell Williams is actually partnering with Venture Realty Group on this project. And now the feasibility study on it is a 245-page review. It includes 5 studies ranging from retail potential all the way to parking. And all of the studies focus on how the future Dome site would impact Virginia's largest city. So Virginia Beach City Council will hear the study results tomorrow at their meeting. And according to the summary, the total cost of this project is approximately $338 million. But according to the study, the project will have an economic impact of $150 million every year. So during the construction phase alone, the economic impact study shows $508 million could be generated from the construction jobs. Once it's up and running, this project would have created 2,000 jobs. Now, as for parking, one study compared parking needs from similar developments and set out guidelines for how much parking is needed for peak hours, event days, and non-event days. You can find more on this study on 13newsnow.com. Ashley Smith, 13 News Now. Christina?